Now we are at home and we will start by stacking our last night images. How many frames we can get out with. So first we will add our light frames. And now I added all the frames. I'll be checking them to see if there is a movement. For example, this frame, see, it has to be removed. Next one, also the same. The stars are not rounded, they are a little bit oval size, which means this is the problem of our guiding. The mount was not able to handle the gust of winds that we had yesterday. So I will go through them now. I will speed up the video and then I'll come back. I went through all of the frames and now we end up with 88 light frames. A few from last night, the 60s, but we removed some of them, and plus another 30 that I took in the previous night. So now I'll register them in order for them to give them a rate, and we'll see how they're gonna look like. We'll use that. Compute 255 stars and then click OK. Okay, we are back and this is the score that it gives, so I'll put it by the highest score. Now I have this frame as my highest score, which is basically from the previous night, not from last night. Okay, so I'll be adding now my calibration frame, so I'll speed up also again. Okay, now we added all of our calibration frames. We have 20 dark, 30 flats and 50 bias frames. We'll be stacking our images now. I already explained the stacking options and the computing offset in another episode of the Astrophotography 101 series. So if you need more deeper explanation, please go back to that episode and you will get the information that you need. There is another option here that worth mentioning, which is if the image looks too gray, and this will happen most of the time when you are using a multi-narrowband or multi-dual narrowband filter with a colored camera. By clicking this option, it will reduce the amount of grayness that it will be added to the image, and by clicking here you will get a better image. If you guys are interested in understanding how the calibration frame works along with your light frames, this is a nice demonstration that tells you how it works. Basically, you have a bias frames and create a master bias, and then a dark frames which create a master dark, and the dark flat or flat frame in our case, and create a master dark. In order for it to create a master dark, it needs to subtract from the master flat, the master dark, and also the master bias, and your master flat will be created, and this one and the master dark and the master bias will be deducted from your light frame in order for you to get the calibrated image. Okay, here we go. We have our calibrated image, and as we can see, the green channel is a little bit shifted. Actually, it's a lot shifted rather than the blue channel, and that's reflected in our image here in the nebula, and we'll be calibrating this green background in the next stage. And in our software, we will go to the location where we have our project. First I need to know where it was saved. Okay, And now we'll go back to that location, and this is our location. Click open and go to the open and choose our calibrated image. Just make sure that this is our image. Yes, we opening the image, and as we can see, this is our image. We will click stretch the image, and this is our image, and then we will go to color calibration and photometric. This is the M101. Find it, and now we can get it. You can, by the way, click on get metadata from your image, but if you click on it and it gives you 0, so there is no metadata in your image, so you need to find it and click on that and click OK. And this is our calibrated image. And now by looking at the image, we have some problem with the dithering options here in the blower and here also, which means the image was a little bit rotated. So we'll crop that image. Since it's the Galaxy, we don't need to care a lot about the cropping, since we are actually cropping to a more extend. So we'll go to this extend maybe. You can play around with this. I like my image to look squarish, so I will get these two numbers here, the height and the width, to the correct positions. That's okay. I will click crop, and now my image is cropped, but still it's stretched, so I will go back to linear and I'll start to stretch it with the histogram. As always, my data is on the last corner and I need to stretch this data. And this is my image here. The background is okay, so but we have one issue with the background, that it's a little bit darker here than here. And now I need to neutralize the background, so we'll do background extraction, generate, and then remove some of these squares within the area of the nebulae that I don't want, around these arms for example, within the galaxy itself. It's a little bit better to remove these from actually the area which you don't need to neutralize, so you can go a little bit farther than the galaxy in order for you to neutralize only the areas where the background is, making sure, and also adding some in the areas that need to be neutralized according to this area here. Also make sure that you don't have a square on any star, because the stars are bright and this will mess with your background. So I'm removing the one which is very close to stars. I think we are okay here. There's another galaxy I think here, so we need to neutralize around it, and then we'll compute background and then click apply, and our background is a little bit better neutralized. We can see some fringing around the stars here, bluish fringing, and this is due to the fact that my telescope is an ED glass, so it doesn't focus the green exactly in the same location as the blue and also the red, so some of the bluish will leak out and it will have some problems with regards to that, so we will be fixing that when it comes to Photoshop. So this is not a big deal. Now I can do some color saturation, and I will add some color saturation to the nebulae. And for the background, it works in the opposite as we mentioned previously. So if by reducing, it will increase. As you can see now, the bluish is more bluish, so what I need to do is to actually increase it in order for me to reduce the amount of saturation in the nebulae, in the stars. and I will increase the saturation here, click apply, and I think that looks fine for now. And I have some noise, so I will be reducing the noise. We'll save our image, check only for histogram to make sure, yeah, I can actually darken the image a little bit. And give it a little bit of a stretch. And click apply. Now my image is stretched. And now we will be saving this image and move to the next software. So I will call this one Siril, just to give it a signature. And we will be saving it in the 16 bits, since 16 bits is better for post-processing in Photoshop. Now we will open GraXpert, and in GraXpert our task is only to reduce the noise in the image. We'll load the image. Okay, and this is our image without any stretching. You don't need to stretch it here anywhere. All we need to do is to add denoising. So we'll keep the denoising strength in the 0.8, and we'll zoom in order for us to see the effect when it's done. I will start the denoising process from here. Our denoising process is done, so we'll compare both, and now we can see the difference between the denoised and the original image. I think it done a good job. It softened a little bit the details within the galaxy, but nothing to worry about. This will be enhanced again when it comes to the Photoshop. So the next is to save this image. The software done its job. I will save this image as a TIFF file 16-bit. We'll add it here, and that name is fine. And then we'll open Photoshop. We'll add our image to Photoshop. And this is our image in Photoshop. We'll start by checking to make sure that the levels are correct. So we'll go to levels. We have adjustment to do here for the levels. And also we can check for the curves. Now we can give it a little bit of stretch here. You can play with this curve actually in order for you to see the difference in the nebulae around the galaxy. And go to vibrance and play a little bit with the vibrance of the image and the saturation of the colors. This data is already on the image. All we are doing is just stretching it a little bit in order for it to look better. I'll double click on the background, create a layer from this, and then drag it to the new layer, so I have a new layer adjustment. And now I will reduce the size of the stars. We'll go to select, do a color range, and then from here we'll choose highlights, and we'll play with those until we don't have stars. We don't have the stars within the nebulae of the galaxy, only the stars are around. And we'll select OK, and now it selected the stars, but selected some of the core of the galaxy, which I don't need to reduce. So by selection, and delete this selection from our selection here. I'll keep those. Notice that the small stars, which is the yellow stars here, is not selected. That's fine, that's actually much better. The rest of the stars is selected, and then we will go to select, modify, Now we can choose the size, the radius of the area around the star that we need to reduce. So we'll start by 4 or maybe 3, and we'll see the effect. And Control D. I think it's not good looking at this. It actually have fringing. Okay, I'll set it for 1 or for 2, and then we'll click OK, deselect, and our stars are reduced a little bit. So that's fine. Next step is to create another layer also, and then we will do a high pass filter to enhance the quality of the nebulae around the galaxy. So we will go to filter, others, high pass filter, and here you can choose the radius, where is the area that nebulae you need to enhance. In my experience, around 5 works fine. So we'll click 5, we'll click OK, and now in this filter we can choose overlay, and by noticing now the details around the galaxy of the nebulae is enhanced. I'm happy with this, so we'll choose all of the layers and click merge, and now we have one, and then we'll click again to another one, and then we'll go to we'll do some camera raw filter to enhance a little bit the vibrance and the brightness. So I'll give it a little bit of exposure, just a little bit of exposure. Watch out not to blow the core of the galaxy, and then a little bit of clarity and some saturation or vibrance, it depends. And we'll go to the noise reduction, and now we can increase the noise reduction within the galaxy, and this is within the color range, so we can increase the color details, noise enhancement, and we'll click OK. And now this is the image that we end up with, and it's definitely a better than previous one. Now we have only one problem left, which is the bluish dots around the stars. Some people will like to keep that. I like to reduce it a little bit. So what I will do is to take another copy of this image, and then I will reduce the amount of vibrance within this. Saturation also, we'll reduce the saturation. And this is our sweet spot here, and then we can click on erase or click on the eraser and make sure that we have the right we'll reduce a little bit the opacity, or we can keep the opacity as it is, but just make sure that it's deleting in a smooth way by looking here, and the size is enough. And then we will actually delete the area from the galaxy from this image. So if I close this one, what I'm actually deleting is this from the desaturated image, so I can keep the stars in a desaturation mode while the galaxy itself is in a better shape in the colors that we wanted. And now I can merge all of my layers together, but I just make sure that these stars here, the yellow stars, are actually yellow, so I'll reduce the size. I'm just right clicking to reduce the size of the eraser, and I will erase the areas from these layers that have a yellow stars, because yellow stars I like the look of them in my image. So we'll reduce it from here, also from here. All of these small stars are actually yellow. I think we are okay now, and this can be our final image. I think it looks great, and this is for 90 frames. Each is it's 2 minutes. That's actually a very good result. I hope you enjoyed our episode today about how to post-processing, capturing and post-processing the M101, which is a pinwheel galaxy, a beautiful galaxy there. And even with a smaller telescope like mine, which are only 102 aperture and 714 of focal length, and still I'm capturing this galaxy in a very nice details. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you have any question, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will make sure to answer them, and I will see you in the next episode.